Hello, everyone, and my name is Nash Francis. And today I'll be presenting my research on the Pilot Record Database, or PRD. This presentation explores how PRD strengthens aviation safety while also raising important questions about privacy, fairness, and due process. So I'll share recommendations for reform and also a biblical perspective on justice and stewardship in aviation law. The pilot record database was born or created from tragedy. In 2009, Kogan Air Flight 3407 crashed near Buffalo, New York, killing 50 people. Investigation reveals gap in pilot training and record sharing between airlines. Congress and the FAA acted to prevent such tragedy, leading to the creation of the PRD as part of a broader transparency and accountability initiative. Purpose of the PRD. The PRD is a centralized digital database requiring employers to review a pilot's full record before hiring. It includes training results, enforcement actions, and prior employment history. Its purpose is simple: close the knowledge gap, ensure transparency, and strengthens safety through better informed hiring decisions. We'll take a look at the structure and functions. FAA administers PRD. Employees must input and check data. Record include check ride results, enforcement actions, separations, accessible to FAA and employers. Essentially, what we're saying is that functionally, the PRD operates as an FAA managed system. Their airlines, training centers, and other operators must upload and review data before hiring a pilot. The FAA maintains oversight and compliance, ensuring aviation industry follows uniform reporting practices. So here are some legal foundations. Legally, the PRD draws its authority from federal law, specifically 49 USC 44703 Hotel. The FAA's final rule in 2021 established procedures for reporting, reviewing, and maintaining pilot records. The intent is noble: to ensure that no pilot's performance record is hidden from potential employers. We'll look at due process concerns: inaccurate data, reputational harm, limited correction and appeal process, Fifth Amendment liberty interests, and Board of Regents versus Roth. So despite its purpose, the PRD raises due process concerns. Pilots argue that inaccurate or incomplete record can harm their reputation and limit job opportunities. Current correction procedures are limited and often rely on employers. A potential conflict of interest is also an issue. Under Board of Regents versus Roth, reputational harm can trigger constitutional due process protection. In this slide, we can see some privacy challenges. Some challenges that we may face, like permanent record retention, ARP calls PRD a blacklist, FAA claims, cybersecurity safeguard, and proportionality and fairness concerns. What does this essentially say is that privacy is another major issue. The PRD stores data indefinitely, even for minor training deficiencies. Unions like ALPA warns that this creates a permanent blacklist. The FAA defends its cybersecurity, but proportionality is questioned. Like, does a 20-year-old mistake deserve permanent visibility? Huh? Employer liability. So, risk of defamation or negligent claims, overreporting versus underreporting dilemma, and lack of clear immunity for carriers. Employees face a difficult balance, reporting too little and risk non-compliance, reporting too much and risk lawsuits. So there is currently no strong immunity protection for good faith reporting, leaving operators exposed to legal risk while attempting to comply with PRD requirements. So let's look at PRD from a stakeholder perspective. FAA equals safety, airlines equal compliance plus cost burden, pilots equal fairness plus repetition, and public trust in aviation. So each stakeholder sees PRD differently. The FAA emphasizes safety, airlines focus on compliance cost, pilots worry about fairness and repetition, and the public values transparency. So effective reform must balance these competing priorities. So let's do a comparative analysis. When compared to like the medical and legal license system, PRD lacks strong appeal and correction processes. In other fields, professionals can challenge records through independent boards. The FAA dual role as regulator and record keeper blurs the line between oversight and adjudications, a significant ethical dilemma that we face. We'll look at some key legal and ethical themes on this slide. Due process, privacy and data ethics, liability and fairness, transparency versus equity. The PRD exemplifies aviation's broader challenge, balancing public safety with personal rights. Legal, ethical, and procedural fairness must coexist in one system. True safety cannot ignore justice. They must reinforce each other. So these are my recommendations for reform. Independent appeal board, proportional record retention, limited employer immunity, and enhanced privacy and pilot education. So all of these is part of my recommendations for reform. Make sure you include independent review board, which handles disputes, shorter retention period for minor issues. No need to keep that pilot in a long retention for issues that can easily be fixed, and through education, limited immunity for employers acting in good faith, and better education on PRD rights and access. So to me, these measures would preserve safety while restoring fairness and proportionality. From a biblical worldview or a biblical standpoint, the PRD should be guided by principles of honesty, fairness, and stewardship. Proverbs 11:1 reminds us that dishonest scales displease the Lord. Micah 6:8 calls us to act justly and love mercy. Like Luke 12:48 teaches us that those given much responsibility, such as pilots and regulators, are accountable for using it wisely. So, to conclude, the PRD is a vital step towards transparency and safety in aviation. Yet, without adequate due process and privacy protection, it risks undermining the very fairness it seeks to uphold. Aviation safety depends not only on data accuracy, but on ethical stewardship and respect for human dignity. So once again, I want to say thank you for listening. These references form the basis of my research and analysis. So if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy and delightful to discuss them further with you. Thank you.